Welcome back, everybody. It is time for another Q&A with Dr. J and GC. Today, we're going to talk about the idea of adrenal fatigue. Now, I say the idea of adrenal fatigue because some in Western medicine will say there's no such thing as adrenal fatigue. Others will say there's nothing you can do about adrenal fatigue. But I'll bet that Dr. J has an opinion about that, and that there might be a genetic correlation between people that suffer from adrenal fatigue and those who don't. So first of all, can you tell us what adrenal fatigue actually is?
Yeah, I think you're right. There's a lot of confusion about it, and there's no real medical diagnosis of or medical test that says, oh yeah, your adrenals are fatigued. I think in the natural healthcare world, we look at this a lot. There are certain symptoms that go along with adrenal fatigue, which is even low blood pressure or standing up too quickly and you get dizzy, low energy, low motivation, depression, inability to get tasks done or be motivated to do anything. And those are all definite signs to us that there's a problem in the natural healthcare world of adrenal fatigue. And this is where we shine, really, because there are a lot of things that you can do about adrenal fatigue. And this is something I worked on quite a bit as a functional medicine practitioner. It was one of the main things that people came in for was exhaustion. They work too hard, they stress too much, they don't get enough sleep, all of which can contribute to adrenal fatigue. But when I started looking at the genetics, my attitude changed 180 degrees. And I stopped giving people adrenal support and I got their body making it. That's the paradigm shift that I've been talking about is, okay, we could give you a bunch of supplements and herbs and vitamins and stuff to support your stressful lifestyle, your habit of worrying about everything, of stressing about everything, of trying to pack too much into a day. And I started thinking about it in a whole nother way. The first thing is, of course, a lifestyle change, but when you change the physiology of the body, you calm down. So you stop stressing about everything. Your mind stops doing the blah, blah, blah all the time. You sleep better. So that's the first thing. It stops the stress treadmill because your physiology is now calmer and you sleep better and you eat more consistently and you eat better things for you. The other thing that we do when we're exhausted is we reach for sugar or a carbohydrate or something to get our energy up, and that creates more adrenal stress, and it's a treadmill. But when I started looking at the genetics, and I'm going to share my screen for a minute here and go to this very familiar chart by now. I think everybody should have this posted in their bathroom on the wall. They can look at it. But when I talk a lot about the vitamin D receptor and its involvement in making dopamine and norepinephrine and adrenaline, and these are what are called catecholamines. And if you have a genetic variant there and you're not making dopamine correctly or norepinephrine or adrenaline, then you're going to have low adrenals. You're going to have low blood pressure. You're going to have low energy. You're going to have the exhaustion and the inability to sleep, all of those symptoms that we just talked about. When I see a low adrenaline kind of person, it could be for the two main reasons here. One is they have a COMT variant, a COMT, and they've had too much adrenaline in their system for too long. And eventually, the body's going to wear out because it's just the receptors stop responding, everything stops responding, and you become exhausted. The other reason is you're not making adrenaline correctly, and same symptoms can happen. And so we look at which one do you have? Are you having low production of adrenaline or too much over too long of a period of time? And also, when you make adrenaline, you're going to make cortisol over time. It's the body's response to stress. It makes cortisol as a anti-inflammatory, essentially. It's a steroid. The adrenaline is, oh, alarm, we're under stress. And then cortisol kicks in, so in case you get damaged during that stress, so like you're in a fight or you're going to be hurt or you're going to be traumatized, cortisol kicks in to lower the pain threshold and give you a steroid. But over time, that steroid can lead to weight gain and puffiness and exhaustion of the adrenals too. So the answer is getting your genetic variants balanced, getting that vitamin D receptor variant balanced so that the body makes dopamine, norepinephrine and adrenaline correctly, making sure that COMT can break down the adrenaline that you're making so that you don't end up in a exhausted, anxious, unable to sleep kind of mode. So it's all about balance. Too much or too little
Mm.
is not a good place to be, and that can lead to dysfunction. So when you get this balance, like I say, your nervous system calms down, you start in with better habits, you eat better, and we beat people up. Come on, go get to sleep, stop stress, learn to breathe, meditate. Those are all good suggestions, but they don't get to the core of the physiology that's out of balance. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I was going to ask, because I can't remember, where are the adrenals in our line of endocrine?
Oh, so the adrenals sit right on
Oh,
top of
by
the
the kidneys, right?
kidneys.
Yeah.
They're like a little hat right on top of the kidneys.
Isn't that cute?
It's so cute. But yeah, so the hypothalamus, a gland in the brain, tells the pituitary what to do, thyroid, adrenals, and then ovaries, so that they're second to last in the hierarchy of needs for
Kind of like when
hormonal
the
balance.
fourth child or the fifth child comes along.
Right. Yeah,
The first
exactly.
one is golden, everything's great. Second, yeah. Third is
Right.
like out in the street playing by itself. Nobody even knows where it is.
Yeah, exactly. They're on their own. There are other reasons for adrenal exhaustion. There can be tumors, there can be a dysfunction of the kidneys and adrenals themselves. I don't mean to simplify it into it's always just that. But for the majority of people that I have seen in my practice and the other natural healthcare practitioners, we're seeing subclinical dysfunction where
Mhm.
they just feel terrible and they're exhausted and they can't sleep and they're when we get the biochemistry balance down here at this level, I don't have to give adrenal support anymore. It's so cool. And I had shelves of like herbal adrenal support or even glandular adrenal support. I had shelves of it that sat there after I learned about the genetics and how to get to a deeper level of this. And I ended up expiring. I had to throw it all away,
Damn.
but it was a cornerstone of my practice for so many years. And I'm hoping that some of the natural healthcare practitioners are listening to this because you're not fixing the problem. You're putting a stopgap to something that could go deeper into much more core cause to these kind of things.
Yeah, and this brings up a good point. We don't usually address the practitioners in the world that might be listening to this, but we invite you, if you're interested, to contact us if you need more information about the company. Go to our website. We have a practitioner website from the homepage of MHG. You'll see at the top, Are You a Practitioner? With a red button. It'll take you into practitioner land. We train our practitioners with a free course, and then you can go deeper if you want into the biochemistry and the genetics. But if you feel like you have those patients that are just not helpable through traditional means that you use, you might want to consider using genetic testing.
Yeah. And if you're a consumer listening and you have a practitioner, a natural healthcare practitioner, you might want to pass this video on to them or some of these videos on to them so that they can go deeper with you and get to a more core place.
Yeah. And it's so cool when you see people getting this kind of help.
It really is. It's so life-changing when you get it dialed in. And we encourage people to learn as much as they can about their body and they can spot it when they've got too much adrenaline or not enough adrenaline.
Mhm.
It's empowering, and
Definitely.
that's my biggest wish for people is that they start to know their bodies. And it's not as complicated, and don't let doctors intimidate you into thinking that you can't understand your own body. You can. It takes a little bit of effort, but it's logical, and little by little you can put these pieces together and start understanding it and be a co-member in your own healthcare. So that's my fondest wish.
Yeah. Perfect. All right, everybody. Thank you for listening. This was a really informative one for me to be reminded. I was one of those people that took those pills many years ago.
Me too. I
I'm
love
not
them.
sure they help, but I felt better taking them.
Yeah, temporarily you feel better, but
Yeah. Anyway, we'll be back next week with another Q&A with Dr. J. If you like this video and you know somebody that might like it too, please share, subscribe, leave your comments down below. We read them all and we'll respond. Dr. J, I'll see you in a week.
thanks, TC.
Thank you.